Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I am Dana Dubois.
I'm Lawrence Winterman.
That's my best friend.
That's my best friend.
Lawrence, I don't want to curse anything, but I haven't lost audio when we joined StreamYard in like a week. It just,
Ooh, perhaps they actually fixed their bugs. That would be
wouldn't that be
that would be
amazing?
amazing. Good job, StreamYard. Knock
Yeah,
on wood.
whatever changed. As we joined this time, I was like, I bet I just lost audio, and I had that feeling. So it was a reminder that it hasn't happened in a while. Um, I'm happy to see you this morning. We're still here.
Yeah, yeah. We did not die in nuclear fire. I'm gonna take that as a win.
Yeah, I read.
2 week Taco Trump apparently showed up yesterday, and so we've all been given a 2 week reprieve, including Iran, and
I
an actual ceasefire, which is more than I had hoped for. Um, how you feeling about it?
I feel like I read a story yesterday. There were so many I read, and I wish I'd saved this one. I had nearly put it on Substack, but it might have been in Fortune. It was quoting European leaders for like asking for comment, and they're like, "We don't comment every time some idiot says something." It was like the EU was just like, "We're not fussed by this at all," and it was so like big sister energy, which I appreciate as a big sister myself. That they were like, "Nothing is going to come from this." And um, I don't think we can do that. I called I called Pramila and I called Patty Murray and I called Maria Cantwell yesterday because we had to. You have to take the president of the United States seriously when
Right.
he's threatening genocide. And also, I kind of love that they were like, that is not a thing, you guys. But I feel like Lawrence, I I know there'll be a lot of people now painting this as like a victory for him.
Oh, I am going to murder anyone who paints this as a victory. This
Yeah,
this cannot be spun as, well, it worked as a negotiating tactic. No, fuck you. It did not work as a negotiating tactic. Threatening
it,
genocide and nuclear war is not a negotiating tactic.
it is
That's not
not.
how this works.
And to me, I was like, was this just cosplay? Did they all know where this was going?
I
I feel like it was.
I
Um,
mean, I don't know. I don't think it was, in the sense that the panic that we saw yesterday in the news and from 73 and counting members of Congress saying that he needed to be removed from office, I don't
yes.
think that was cosplay. Um, because it
No,
doesn't
not from
matter if
all
it
of
was
them.
cosplay. The fact that the words got uttered, the fact that the tweet was made is, again, like everything that Trump does, unprecedented,
Yeah.
historic, completely out of line. Like, we can't minimize that.
No, I don't think we should minimize it at all. I think um I also don't think it should be painted as a victory at all. And I haven't had a chance to really deep dive into the outputs now of like what this arrangement is, but I was reading about boats needing to pay to go through the strait now, like $2 million a boat. Is this sounding familiar?
I mean, I don't know the details either. I was up like late last night coding my website.
2 million per boat. I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up, but reports suggest Iran has considered charging. Oh, this I think is older. Yeah, this is. I'm seeing it, but maybe not in context of the deal. So I don't want to be misquoted, but from everything I've been reading online, this was not a great negotiation. We're still far worse off than we were
Oh god, I mean,
before.
the war
It,
was a terrible fucking idea to start
yeah,
with and completely unnecessary. Like, none of this is a win.
no,
He can't spin this as in any way being like he made peace for a situation that he literally broke. Absolutely not.
right. And I think my wish my wish that he be removed from office, which has always been there, but my thought that this was a relationship extinction event, our relationship being him being the president, still stands. I think this is impeachable. This is 25th amendable. Like 20, we could use the 25th
Right, we could
amendment. You know
invoke the
what I mean?
25th Amendment. I
Yes.
mean, any
No one
sane
is.
cabinet could. It's just that his
Yes,
cabinet is full of sycophants and it requires a majority of the cabinet. So
yes, that won't
it
happen.
isn't going to happen, but
But impeachment, I, I the way that we impeached Bill Clinton for a blowjob, and
right.
we're not impeaching this guy for outright proclaiming genocide. I kind of liked Ellie Leonard's idea of like literally just arrest him. That was illegal. You
Yeah,
can't threaten death like that. I don't.
I
Who
don't
would
know
do
how
it?
that works with the Secret Service
Yeah,
and Ripley's cute cheek on the camera.
she's so cute.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of like yelling fire in a crowded theater, right? Like there's this thing called free speech, and there's a thing called public endangerment
yeah,
and the greater good. And Trump has stepped on that and crushed it in so many ways that we should not just go back to whatever business as usual under this Trump 2 regime is. Like, this should be a world changing event. It should be a policy and
it
politics
should.
changing event in this country.
It should. And I just, I was envisioning our guest Kira from yesterday, who was like, he's up there, pew pew, and she made those little like gun sounds, and that was what I thought when I read about him backing down and everything. That he was just like, my little game worked, pew pew pew,
Oh,
and I'm
God.
like, your little game didn't work. We're not better off than we were. You simply chose not to nuke Iran, which apparently most of the leaders in the EU are like, yeah, we knew he wasn't really going to.
Well, I'm
And
glad they had confidence. I guarantee you, whatever their public persona says, there was absolutely some
yes,
planning and strategizing going on in very important back rooms and secure locations in capitals around the world. Because the
yes.
president of the United States casually threatening nuclear annihilation for an entire country, an entire civilization,
Yeah.
not cool, man.
And I also did read right before going to bed that Netanyahu does not intend to honor this. So is it
Well,
even a peace deal if
right.
we if only half
The
of
ceasefire is supposed to include Lebanon. I think someone in the chat just said this, maybe Lefty Prof, that Lebanon is supposed to be included in the ceasefire, and of course the IDF has not ceased bombing southern Lebanon. So thanks, Benjamin Netanyahu, worst Jew who ever lived, says the two Jews. Like
yeah,
we're allowed
yeah, we're allowed,
we're
right.
allowed to critique him because Jesus Christ, what a
I
complete and
know.
utter asshole that guy is.
Yeah, it was interesting. I posted a note a few days ago um about this. I'm going to try to find it and quote myself. I will say I posted it on Substack and on tweets, and it went by my standards kind of viral. Like it's gotten, I don't know, a few thousand comments, or a few thousand likes and hundreds of comments. But I'm so like mourning that I'm staring at Substack right now. Like, how do I find it?
Well,
um,
let's go ahead and bring
yeah,
our guests
let's bring our
on.
guests on. But it was interesting. Substack. What I was going to say is Substack. Everyone's been really supportive of like really great to see someone Jewish speaking out against what Israel is doing. Oh, here it is. I was raised on a I was raised Jewish on a steady diet of Holocaust films and never again. Israeli troops are now searching for Muslims hiding in the attics of Christians. History doesn't just repeat; we repeat it. We being humanity. Um, Substack has been very supportive, and Threads has been full of people challenging the truth of it. And I'm like, well, it's a simplistic message because it's short character count, but like, which part of which part of this isn't true?
Right. I mean, it's like when I wrote the article a couple months ago
Yeah,
about Gaza being a genocide, right? That
yeah.
Jewish
People were like,
Americans need to say those words because it is
yes,
incumbent upon us to hold our co-religionists to account that,
yeah,
it's not anti-Semitic to point out that the IDF is committing a fucking genocide.
right,
That is just observational reality. And, for the
yeah,
Jewish nation, of all nations in the world to be committing such an atrocity, like it's not irony at that point. It's disgusting. It
it's
is
cruelty
a
and
blatant disregard to the lessons of history that were, cast so strongly upon our very own ancestors. So
yeah,
again, I say, I recognize that Netanyahu was a crazed asshole. The moment I saw him speak after Yitzhak Rabin's assassination all those years ago, I knew
Yeah,
that
you
fucking
did.
guy was bad news.
I
I
mean, you were
stand
like
by
10
it,
years
and
old,
I
but you
want,
knew it.
as much as I want Trump to mysteriously disappear from existence by whatever means necessary, uh, not advocating for violence, just a supernatural being reaching down and plucking somebody from existence. Same for Benjamin Netanyahu. And on
Yeah.
that note, let's introduce Walter Rhein and Emily Berge. Hello.
Great to see
I,
you guys.
You
Good
too.
great.
I'm
morning.
gonna put you guys up on the top. There we go.
Oh,
Look at
perfect.
that. Emily, I see a cat. Forget who
Yes.
you are. I see a cat in your lap. Can we please
I
talk
have,
about that first?
yes, this is Lily. Yes.
Oh my
Hi,
gosh.
Lily.
Lily
Yeah,
looks like a little fluff
I've
ball.
got
she
Ripley.
is. Um,
How
it's
about you,
Bring Your
Walter?
Cat to Podcast Day.
It totally is. I have had my dog in here, but she's had her treats and now she seems to have. Oh no, she's right here. Hi. I
I
don't
have
think
a
she's gonna hop in my lap though.
I have a big
Welcome.
old dog. He's in the other room. He's a 90
Nice.
pound, not really a lap, but he protects my daughters and my wife when they go for walks, and I appreciate him. I love that
Yeah.
dog just for that.
Oh my gosh. Well, Walter, I'm not even sure I could count how many times you've been on the Daily Whatever show. You are our first
The
guest.
first. You always
A
remember your first. I
Ooh.
always say that.
Exactly. And a frequent revisitor of our show. But in case we have folks here somehow who don't know who you are, please
Oh.
introduce yourself. And then, Emily, we're going to introduce you next.
Sure.
Oh yeah, wonderful! It's so great to see you guys. I've known you I know Dana from Medium, and I've known Lawrence from the Daily Whatever. And yeah, the first time I saw you guys, your beautiful energy together. I'm just like, I gotta talk. I just want to be in the same space as you guys. There's just such a sincere love between you guys, and it's the
Oh,
authenticity that we're looking for. My Substack is called "I'd Rather Be Writing," and lately, I've been doing everything I can to talk to wonderful candidates like Emily Berge here, who's running in my district in Wisconsin, and it goes back. Emily was the second candidate I talked to, and it's just been so wonderful getting to know Emily, especially with all the things going on here. And I just always say I appreciate so much that Emily, you're one of the new generation of candidates willing to talk to people, regular people like me, just a dad trying to make it in this world. And we've just established that we have this government that doesn't interact with the people, and I just applaud you for being willing to change that. And you've given me so much hope for the future. So thank you for running, and let's hear from you, I guess.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's quite the intro. Thanks, Walter.
Get
And
rolling.
thanks. Yes, it's wonderful. I appreciate it a lot. And thanks, Dana and Lawrence, for having me on this morning.
of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great to meet you and be here with all of you and our pets. So, yeah, I am Emily Berge. I'm running for Congress in Wisconsin's 3rd district. So so in Wisconsin, we hold up our hand. Hopefully, so Door County, and then Eau Claire, where Walter and I are over here. And the 3rd district is the west part of the state along the Mississippi all the way to the bottom. And then it scoops up, grabs the central Wisconsin too. It kind of leaves out, there's a hole in the middle because of lovely gerrymandering, but it's 19 counties. It's beautiful, beautiful, just beautiful part of the state, country. And running against Derek Van Orden, the Republican Derek Van Orden. Y'all have heard of him.
Oh
But
yeah.
yes, yeah. And then there's also a primary too, a Democratic primary. So I'm working hard on the ground, talking to all the voters throughout the 3rd congressional district. I'll say I'm also a city council president in Eau Claire. So I'm the highest elected official in the largest city in our district. So I've been on council for the last 8 years. My day job, I'm a therapist. The common thread is I love people and I love helping people. It's just who I am. And I've always volunteered. I did AmeriCorps. I did flood relief up in North Dakota in high school. I did build homes down in Appalachia in high school. It's just, again, who I am. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because as we were talking about earlier, maybe you were, but we deserve a representative. We deserve a government that cares about us. And I don't know about you, but I'm not really feeling that love. So we
Yeah.
deserve better.
Definitely not. A point of personal privilege. I have always had a soft spot in my heart for Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I've never been. Walter, I didn't know you actually lived in Eau Claire, or I would
I
have said
didn't.
this earlier. I've written about my first boss ever, Dieter Murphy, who was the first openly gay man that I ever met, and so very influential on my life. He was kind of like my first introduction to what an out gay man looked like, and I kind of learned so much from him before we lost him to AIDS. So Eau Claire, Wisconsin, home of Dieter Murphy, hugely influential on my life. I know that's apropos of nothing, but I just had to kind of make that shout out. Every time I hear Eau Claire, Wisconsin, I immediately think of Dieter and the impact that he had on me. So, yay, Eau Claire.
That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Well,
What a
come back,
wonderful-
Lawrence. Come back and visit.
I've never been. It would be my first time.
Oh.
I would love to come do it.
Okay, you and Dana, road trip.
I
Come
would
on
love
out.
a road trip. I have never been to Wisconsin either.
Oh man.
I've heard it's lovely, and Walter, I'm realizing I've never known where you live. Like I didn't even know which part of the country, but
Yeah.
I was like, I picture people from Wisconsin just being really cool, like
Well,
you are.
that's
So
based
that
on
totally
me.
makes sense.
That's just based on knowing me. I would recommend coming about January 20th. I think that's beautiful. Wait for a nice stretch of minus 20 days. But I do want to, I would be, I should tell the story about my poor wife when I moved her to Wisconsin from Peru, but maybe that'll be for another day because the poor thing.
Oh my
I
gosh.
didn't
that
realize
is-
how much she loved me until I understood what I put her through with that. But I do want to say Eau Claire consistently ranks, it's like, it's a model city, it's consistently in like the top 20 safest, just the way a community should be run. Emily Berge's been the Eau Claire City Council president. And it's just like, this is what we need, I mean, we've seen, Ron Wolf, the general manager for the Packers, says, you don't make a mistake worse by, refusing to admit it. And Derek Van Orden has been in government for a long time.
Yep.
It's made Wisconsin worse. Emily's proven it in the city of Eau Claire. And so let's make that change. Let's cut ties with the thing that doesn't work, put in somebody good, a new attitude going forward, and make, help to make the United States more like Eau Claire, Wisconsin. How about that?
I'm all in. I'm all in. So, Emily, you mentioned that you've got a primary challenger, and I know that, obviously, before we can kind of talk about how you would run against Derek Van Orden, how you're differentiated from the person that you're running against for the primary. So, what is your pitch with regard to how you're kind of the better candidate against this other Democrat who's also running?
Yeah, so this other Rebecca Cook is her name, and there's a third person running, Rodney Rave as well. But Rebecca's the main challenger, and this is her third time running for this seat. She's never been elected, so the main probably difference between her and I is my experience. Like I said, I've been on council, been elected 3 times. I'm the past president of the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, so I've worked with communities of all sizes across the state. But I think also we're running our campaigns differently. So about a year ago, actually, when I was thinking about doing this, I talked to people locally and they were very encouraging. And they said, yes, we need you. You gotta step up and do this. You can win. And so they're like, but you have to talk to DC people. I'm like, okay. So I call DC people and they're like, oh, no, we don't want a primary. We have our candidate. Like, Rebecca, she can raise the money because her past, her main career, she's a political fundraiser. So she is very good at raising money.
Oh, God.
And so the establishment told me, nope, we don't want a primary. We have our candidate. We've already invested in her last cycle. We're just going to stay with her. So and I couldn't believe it. I mean, maybe I should have. I couldn't believe it. And I was so mad. I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
Right.
You in DC and millionaires in California don't get to pick who represent us in Western and Central Wisconsin.
Emily,
I mean, that's
I'm already in love. I'm ready to endorse. I'm endorsing Emily Berge for for the Wisconsin third. Like the fact that you told the National Democrats to go stick it and run anyway. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's so.
And with every, oh, go ahead.
That's just so not how our party is supposed to be. Oh, my dog is trying to wriggle away, but Kira wanted to come say hi and say she endorses you as well.
Kira.
What she endorses is a heavy dose of treats this morning. She's on her third one. She knows she's got me when I'm here, that I can't do anything but feed her her favorite treats, so she tends to be a bit mischievous. But what did you say the minute they said that to you? When they're like, "No, thanks, we're good. We don't need you because we've already picked someone who can fundraise." Like, I love
I just
moments
like
like
it. I'm
this.
like, in my heart, I believe it's the voters. And that's what I told them. I'm like, it is the voters. I believe in the voters. It's up to the
Yeah.
voters to decide. That's what, like, I just don't, the only way that that becomes like the way, like, we just have to reject that way of thinking to only prop up people that can raise the most money, because how are they raising that money? They're going like outside of our district. And I know money will come from outside of our district, but they're going to lobbyists, they're going to AI CEOs, they're going to corporate, like we can't keep reinforcing that way of politicking.
Yes.
We can't keep like our democracy is about the people and the voters. So I told them that. I'm like, no, I reject that. It is about the voters. That's what I said. And
And
they don't even think of it like that. It's so interesting, actually.
that's
Like
crazy. Like a
they just
healthy
see it as,
democracy.
yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm cutting you off. My apologies, but I'm just plus oneing you. Like a healthy democracy runs
Yes.
on choice.
Yeah.
And for them to
Yeah.
be like, nope, check, we've already got someone. She's a fundraiser. Have they softened to you since they've seen your fight and they've seen the support you've raised?
That's a good. Not to, so this happened, a year ago. So I knew that they were supporting her. And then, so I'm going to pull back the curtain for you. So they've been funneling more millions of dollars to her. They've been funneling these national endorsements to her, which allows her to raise more money.
Right.
So she's gotten some big national endorsements, but it's all part of the machine. And then about, I don't know, Walter, was it like 6 weeks ago or so, or 2 months ago? And then the DCCC came out and officially endorsed her, which I'm like, well, at least you're honest about it. Like you've
Right.
been just supporting her for the last year. So at least you're honest that the establishment
Yeah.
is, and so no, they really, I think more recently, there's like, I'm running a strong ground game. I am about the people. Like, and if you look at my events all on social media, it's all ages, genders, backgrounds. Like we have people, like I'm going throughout the whole district. Like I have a very strong ground game. I have hundreds of volunteers and I'm focused on in district. I think that's starting to see. I think people are they're just watching right now. Like, okay, we'll see if Berge can do it, but I know I'm going to do it. So it's because I feel the energy and the love. So
I just want to say,
I'm about to put your link in the chat. So one of the things that we here can all do is, even if it's just a couple bucks, if it's $5, please throw some dollars to Emily, because early money is so important. Things like polling, so that Emily can accurately understand how she is faring against Rebecca right now, is incredibly expensive. And that's, just one of the many things that a grassroots campaign needs. So please, and on that note, Emily, do you have any sense from polling or in kind of other analysis how you're kind of matching up against Rebecca in the race so far?
Not like you say, polling is very expensive, and so I just don't. Yeah, I need to, pay for signs, and literature, and so. But I don't know. My gut is telling me like things are good. I don't know if that counts, but in Eau Claire, where I've been on council, I feel very good in Eau Claire, and I've raised my family here. I've been a counselor in the area. And I feel good. Like just wherever I go, I fill the room, and I just feel the room is behind me when I leave. And it's like I said, it's more of a gut feeling. I'm trying to be everywhere all
her
at
being
once.
endorsed by the DCCC is honestly an albatross that you should hang around her neck.
Yeah.
Right? Hakeem Jeffries likes her.
Yes.
Not her.
Right.
She just disqualified herself. Are you kidding?
Yeah. I just want to say too, and what you guys have been saying is so important. We have to change this mindset at the DNC. Primaries are healthy. Primaries are extremely healthy for our government because multiple candidates can canvass a district. They can get people excited. The fact that the DNC is trying to prevent primaries doesn't make sense. It is strategically unsound.
Right.
We canvass the district. district, people get name recognition. Then they're able to run for, one wins, the other one gets to run for other offices. That's how we take back control of our country.
Right.
And I've been interviewing a lot of these progressive candidates. I started out, the first person I sent an email to was Rebecca Cook, just because that was the name I knew. I ran into Laura Benjamin at a cultural fair, and then I met Emily, and I've just been ongoing talking about these things. And I just have to say that when we had this news that ICE was coming into the area, I was just terrified. My wife is an immigrant, my kids, I was terrified about my kids. I sent out a bunch of emails to people, including to Emily, Laura. Emily called me, and as I was talking to Emily on the phone, I realized I was kind of hysterical. I kind of had that realization, and Emily helped talk me down to help reassure me. That's what we need out of our representatives, isn't it? And here I am with a platform, and I'm reaching out to these other representatives like, hey, let's have a talk, They don't want to talk to me. Like, they don't even want to have a conversation with me. And it's like they're talking to their big donors while Emily's out canvassing the district, talking to the real people. I mean, yes, Wisconsin gets to choose who represents us, because Emily's the one who calls you up on the phone when you're terrified that the mass police are coming to kill your kids. And so I absolutely trust Emily with the safety of my kids. I certainly don't trust her opponent, Derek Van Orden, with the safety of my kids. Right. And it's coming down to that, everybody. We were talking about this nuclear threat. We need to change direction. And it's with the new type of candidate like Emily Berge.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone, AOC won when she primaried the incumbent in her district, who was actually in Democratic leadership, and she did it with like 70 grand, right? So $5 donations to Emily would really help. You need money, but honestly, you're running the kind of ground game, it sounds like, that is necessary to win a race like this.
I think so.
Yeah. And I'll say,
sorry, you go first.
Well, I'll just say too, and I do have the local endorsements. I have the mayor of Stevens Point endorsement. So Eau Claire is the largest city, then it's La Crosse, and Stevens Point. So I have the La Crosse mayor endorsement, the Stevens Point mayor endorsement, plus vast majority of city council in Eau Claire. We don't have a mayor in Eau Claire. I'm essentially the mayor, but tons of local electeds throughout the district. So my endorsements live in the district compared to hers. I just want to make that point too.
Yeah.
So.
When you were thinking about this, Emily, obviously you've got electoral experience. You're the president of the city council. You've been doing it for years. You've run successful elections. But kind of that, quantum leap up to a statewide or district-wide elected office, what made you think, I'm the person? This is a good fit for me?
It goes to my why. So my why started about 10 years ago when Trump was elected the first time. Before that, I was not involved in politics. I always voted, but I was never involved in politics. And that shook my world. I could not believe that we could elect someone with those values, or lack of values, I guess. I was raised with compassion, honesty, community, and here our country just elected someone who sexually assaults women, says terrible things about women, people of color, is a bully. And I'm just my kids were 8 and 10 at the time. I was just terrified and just so that started me on this whole path of I just have to do something. And that's the energy that keeps me going. So I went to the Women's March. I got involved with Indivisible back in 2017. And people came up to me and said, Emily, we need you to run for council, take out a Trumper on council. I'm okay, let's do it. So that's just who I am. I go where I'm needed because I love my community so much. And it's the same energy. Derek Van Orden has not been good for us. And I've tried to work with him as president. I've been in his office in DC. I've talked to him on the phone. He just yells and blames. He's not about solving problems. And they're making everything worse too. It's not even that they're not solving problems. So it's just through that, we deserve better. And to be honest, I don't think Rebecca Cook is up for the challenge. And it's we need someone. And that's what people are telling me too. Emily, we need you. And I'm yeah, we need a change. So that's why. That's what.
One of the things I know we've talked a lot about on the show is, we're looking for fight in people, right? We can't just be this Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, we're going to write a strongly worded letter anymore. And what I'm hearing from you is fight. It's a compassionate fight, though, right? Like I feel like you're living your values, and you're kind of presenting yourself as like this fighter who is going to still hold close to your own moral center. And I think there's a quietness to that, but it's what I'm getting is like a fierceness that I'm not sure that I see in every other candidate who is running. So.
Yeah, a fierceness and an authenticity. I feel
Yeah.
like if you can nail those two things, like you've got my vote. I do want to call out that Walter, I think the work you're doing is so important. We are here with Emily today because of Walter.
Yep.
And I love the dots that you've connected here. That we may not be huge on Substack, but we are mighty. And you take your platform to champion candidates, and then you reach out, right? Like, I can't tell you all how many times I've gotten a message from Walter of like, you need to bring this person on. Even Kira yesterday from Citizens Impeachment, that was Walter saying, you need to bring this person onto your show. And I know you're not just reaching out to the Daily Whatever show. So I want to acknowledge in front of everyone, like, Walter, you are making an impact, and it's so heartening and inspiring. And it's something that Lawrence and we're trying to keep up with you and everyone you're sending our way. So
You're so sweet.
thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're making me emotional. So thank you.
Good. And Emily, like, it's not every candidate who will come talk on, a bunch of Substacks to our community here, but what's building here on Substack really, it is real. There are loads of, big name journalists who are moving over now because of, I don't think we need to dive into the reasons why, but there's also this just huge groundswelling of people like Walter and Lawrence and me who are like, what can we do to try to impact for good? And everyone in this chat too, like everyone who shows up here, we all want to help move the world. So I know I'm being a little fangirlish here, but I just want to acknowledge what we're doing here. Like, we've never had this ability before.
Yeah.
It's just like the old school, like when people would go to the square and have, I don't know, Socratic debate.
Yes. We need to make it a Substack trend. I keep saying, because it's the legacy media ignores the primaries, and all these progressives I've talked to now, probably like 10 or 12 different candidates. Since I talked to Citizens United, they're just sending me messages after message. And I interviewed 2 new candidates yesterday, and so many of them are saying the same thing Emily did, that once they start getting they generate some momentum, they get a call from a high-ranking member of the DNC who says, we want you to pull out. And I'm just like that. We gave the current crop of Democrats, we gave them all the power. The voters did. In 2020, we gave them all the power they needed to stop what we're going through right now. They failed. It's time for a new generation of leadership to get in there. And this idea that they are wasting their time calling up candidates who are out there doing the good work. It's like, if they want to talk to somebody, come and talk to me. Let's be transparent. Let's see what you guys want to say and let the people decide. This behind closed doors thing shouldn't happen anymore. But it's almost as if the establishment leaders will not come and talk to us. They will not talk to regular people. Right. We need a new generation like Emily who's willing to do this work and listen to real people, because this is our government. It doesn't belong to those donors with millions and millions of dollars. It belongs to us. And we've just forgotten that, because it's always easier for them to just buy both candidates in the primaries. That's a more inexpensive way to create the illusion of a choice in the general. And we have to overcome that now, make it a Substack trend. Everybody interview as many candidates as possible, whether you have 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 followers, constantly talking with candidates. We're going to change the message about politics. We're going to change the whole direction of the United States and the world and humanity.
I love this. Here. Walter, I think this is like, this is something I know we've talked about, like you come on a lot, but you were like, we should have a monthly standing thing. Like we should, and probably even more frequently than monthly, of like bring in the candidates.
Candidate day. We can just bring them through for like 5 straight hours, half hour each. Let's do it. Honestly, I'm up for it. Sitting here drinking Coke and
2026 is what we need, right? Like all new Democrats, no
the primaries.
Get rid of the Republicans.
Right. And yes, I completely understand a candidate needs to work at scale, and also a candidate who will only talk to wealthy donors and won't talk to any of us. Like, how are they going to lead? Right? Yeah. How are they going to lead if they can't even talk when they're trying to? It's like when you're dating, it's like the way they act on a first date. whatever you're going to see, those attributes are only going to get worse when they
Yeah.
settle in. So you
Yeah.
need
Well,
someone who is going to be polite to the waiter.
right. And the best predictor of
Yeah.
future behavior is past behavior.
Yep.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Emily, I would love, I know very little about Wisconsin politics, but I want to hear a little bit more about how you're differentiating from your primary contenders. I know we don't have to get into why you're different than the Republican incumbent, because
Yeah,
that's
we know.
evident.
We already see.
Yeah, we already see it. What are your key differentiators?
I think the biggest policy key differentiator is I'm all for Medicare for all, or universal health care, whatever you want to call it. So people can get the help they need, the health care they need, and including mental health care. As a mental health provider, I've worked in, I did psych consults in the ER. I've been in schools. Now I'm in private practice. I have my own little office downtown. Like seeing on the inside insurance companies and like there's barriers that our system puts into place for people that just need help, like whether it be affordability or just accessibility. We lost two hospitals here, one in Eau Claire a couple of years ago, the same time, one up in Chippewa, which is like 20 minutes away. And with that, a bunch of counselors too left, like mental health. So Medicare for all, it's not, what we have now is not working. Why are CEOs like continue getting richer and richer while people keep getting sicker and sicker? And it's like the city alone, like the city of Eau Claire, I think there's 16, our budget for healthcare for our employees is like $16 million. That went up 15%, which is about $2 million. And I mean, I won't go into state tax law, but like we have all this stuff that our hands are tied and now we have to fill that gap. So like it's expensive, but like we can pay for our healthcare like through our taxes, just like, or we can pay insurance companies, like which way. So I guess that's the big, she's not for Medicare for all or universal health care.
Okay.
I've been clear that you're talking about genocide earlier, like that we still are seeing genocide in Palestine, and and she has not talked about that at all either. She hasn't really said much about ICE, as Walter said, Minneapolis is 90 miles away. That definitely impacted us in Eau Claire. We've seen it in Eau Claire a little, and I've been on the ground, I cut my political teeth on organizing. Like I still have those relationships. I have deep relationships with our local immigrant community, and I'm always centering the immigrant community too. And she's been nowhere to be seen either in those spaces. So,
Man.
Have you
yeah.
have you heard from APAC? Like, have you gotten any? I mean, I'm kind of assuming that you're not taking any APAC money, but maybe I shouldn't put words in your mouth.
No, I'm not. No, I haven't. And yeah. Actually, I haven't taken any PAC money. Now, if a PAC who aligns with my values, like I would accept that, like a teachers union, but I haven't taken, I'm not out. Yeah. And that's a big difference between me and Rebecca as well. It's all public, right? The FEC
Right.
filings and
Yep.
yeah.
I'll have you know, because this browser doesn't have my information memorized because I just set up a new old laptop down here in my podcast studio, but I am at this very moment donating to you. That's why I'm a little distracted and looking down.
So
But I was like, it's important for me to do it during the show.
Dana,
It's not a big
All
donation.
right, you inspired me, Dana. I'm going to do the same thing.
Oh, that's great.
Emily, tell us about, obviously, like running for a congressional seat is different from another statewide office because you're literally representing the people in your community, in your district. And so I'm wondering, like, obviously the economy is a big thing I'm sure that everyone in your district is talking about, right? And the war. But what are some specific, like, Wisconsin third things that you're hearing from people that might be different from other more urban or more rural districts?
Mm-hmm. So healthcare comes up a lot, which we talked about, and that Wisconsin is we kind of have our urban centers, like I said, Eau Claire, Stevens Point, La Crosse. But a lot of it's rural, and so like those rural communities, which healthcare is a huge factor in. Um, like there's like so many hospitals have stopped delivering babies, and so you have to drive like an hour, to go have a baby, which is crazy.
That is so
But also,
stressful to me.
yes, I know.
Whenever my hospital was half a mile away, and I was terrified about like, what if we can't get there?
Yeah.
I know.
Driving
Yeah,
an hour while in labor, I don't. I think I'd just get a hotel room. As soon
right.
as-
Yeah.
For a month waiting
yeah, you
for it.
can't do
Yeah.
that for that long. But oh my God, that's so stressful to me. So please
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah,
I
so
hate hearing.
healthcare, it just really impacts all of us, but especially with the rural lens. But and
Yeah.
then our farming community, I'm talking to a lot of like small and medium-sized farmers and farms, and like it's the same thread, right? Like it's money, it's big corporations, it's the concentration of power is just getting smaller and smaller with few select people pulling the strings, and farming is the same way. These big corporations own a lot of land, and they can buy a lot of land, which then drives up land prices. So like regular people, again, like don't have access to that. We look at our federal government, the farm bill, like we subsidize big farms. The more you plant, the more you grow, like the more money you get. And so then that just rewards these big corporations to buy it more and more again. So we need to like incentivize small and medium-sized farms. What do they need? They don't want 5,000 acres. They don't want 1,000 herd of milk cows. They just want a small herd, 50 cattle, to do beef cattle, just to provide for their families and for their communities. And we should allow that to happen. We're rewarding the big corporations. Like, why don't we give everyone a fair shot?
Right.
Because I think government can do that. I think government, that's again the value where I believe in opportunity for all, no matter where you're from, what you look like everyone should have a fair shot at a life, and farming I think that's like a big issue around here. And yeah, so that's.
I love that. I've been thinking for a long time that the Democratic Party basically abandoning farmers and machinists and blue collar workers is the biggest mistake, the dumbest thing that the party has ever done. I mean, I'm also kind of in a little urban area in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but surrounded by farmland. And I know that the farmers here, if they heard somebody speaking to their issues and here's how you can keep your family farm that has been in your family for generations, that would be a message that would resonate. People would really respond to that.
Yeah, they do. And that's what I'm hearing. I believe people who are closest to the problem or closest to the solution is you just have to go and ask them, and they tell you what they need, and our representatives, that's what I'm doing campaigning.
Right.
Again, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Like, this is how I will lead. It's how I have led, in my community, like showing up to neighborhood meetings, showing up to immigrant communities, listening to them, centering their issues. Congress is no different, like what if instead of doing call time, that's what they said too. Like, well, you have to do call time for 60 hours a week, even when you're in office after you get elected. What if instead of calling rich people in California, like I just show up for our communities and get elected the old fashioned way?
Yeah.
Well,
Wow, I didn't-
concept.
Right. So once you're elected, the DCCC requires you to do call time where you sit and call potential donors in other states for money.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if the
Homes for the
requirement, but the
poll.
pressure. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Hate that.
But they don't talk to us. They won't talk
Right.
to. It's like they got all these hours designated for calling, but we can't talk to a small, like, left-leaning podcast and just discuss issues. What's going on? And I also want to just add to, we see all these other politicians where it's promises. I've seen Emily deliver, like, talk to me and then deliver right away. And we're looking for action. Oh, I promised to do this. 9 months from now isn't going to cut it. We need something today, and I've been seeing it. So this is one of the few cases where I can attest, this candidate is actually doing the work right now.
Oh my gosh.
Emily, when is the primary? So, obviously, primaries are different in all the different states.
Yeah.
Here in Indiana, it's May 3rd. What are you targeting? What is it in Wisconsin?
August 11th is the primary.
Okay, so you've got a while to build up some momentum. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
We've got one of your constituents here in the chat. White FT6 says, Emily, I'm currently sitting in District 3. I attended my last No Kings in Mauston, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I pray you will win.
Yes.
Aw, thanks. Yes,
I
yes.
love that. Thank you for being here. And I've got my fingers crossed for you too. I'm in Seattle, Washington, so I'm way on the other side.
Pramilla's got Dana covered.
Yeah.
But so Emily, yesterday we had Kira from Citizens Impeachment on the show, and I don't know if I'm imagining Walter's made the connection, but I'm wondering if you've thought at all about, well, two questions. One is, you win, congratulations, you win. You've just been sworn in as a member of Congress. Who are you voting for Speaker of the House? Because we're going to win. We're going to win back the House, and now you are in the majority party. Who are you voting for Speaker? And the next question would be, will you support articles of impeachment against Trump?
Yeah, well, the first question, people are ready for a change, and I think that's clear as I'm going out there, and Republicans are ready for a change, independents are ready for a change, Democrats are ready for a change. People who have been just regular people. And so I think I would guess I'll have to look at, all the options, who's stepping up, but yeah, I think I would just have to wait and see, but I know that people are ready for a change, and I'm not beholden to anyone. Like, I really am just focused on the people, that live here. And I'm just, to be honest, like, I don't think a lot about that, like, I'm more about, tonight I need to be in Hillsborough. I'm going to the Hillsborough Brewery and having a meet and greet. Thursday, I'm going to a farm in Osseo to have a meet and greet there. I'll be in Rapids on Saturday. Like, so that's like me being honest. Like, I guess I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that. Like, it's just more about the people here and what they need. But I do know that people are ready for it.
Hakeem, though.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
Okay, check.
Yeah. And then the articles, yes, I will vote to impeach Trump. But we have to do more than that. I know I'm not running for Senate, but we also have to remove him. We've impeached him twice.
Right.
Like, we got to close the deal here, folks, and actually remove him. And so we'll see how the Senate goes, but we need people to stand up to him. Like, people are sick of that too. They don't want people just to fall in line, Again, they're representing the people, not their leaders in DC.
Yep. Running seems like such an act of bravery now, is what's coming to me. That, like,
Yes,
you've got a good thing going. Eau Claire sounds. I'm kind of like, can I move there? It sounds like Minneapolis, only smaller, on a smaller scale. And I've never been to and I feel like Minneapolis is like a sister city to Seattle, like very liberal, very arty. So
Minneapolis is Minnesota, Dana.
I know, but
Okay.
She was saying it's only 90 miles. Well, I know, but it's only 90 miles away.
They are similar. Eau Claire is similar.
That were there. You've got a good thing going on where you are. Like, what does it feel like to have your focus shift from governing within your community to governing on behalf of your community?
Mm-hmm. I view it as why I'm running too, just more upstream. Like, I've done what I could at the local level, and people still will fight that fight, but our hands are tied a lot. We get federal dollars to help with homelessness, but we need more help, and I've talked to Derek Van Orden about this, and he just yells and blames and is not interested in solving problems. We have PFAS in our water. So, like, we were building a $20 million PFAS removal facility, which I just toured yesterday. It's almost done. But, like, we need help at the federal level to, like, it's local communities that figure all this stuff out. Like, we have to make it work. During the pandemic, I was on council. We were fighting a worldwide pandemic at the local level because our state legislator gavelled out. And our president, Donald Trump, was like telling people to drink bleach. Like, it's ridiculous. It's the local communities that do this work. So it's more about, like, how can I help the local communities? And we need more upstream support with that. Like, it's more, and we need funds, definitely, but it's bigger than funds. It's about creating partnership. It's about, like, regional, getting people together, working on, growing the same way. It's about organization. It's about showing up for communities. It's about centering the people that live here, not donors or, GC insiders. Like, I feel like that's how we're going to make our communities better. And I just feel like, that these are big problems. And that's why, like, I'm going for something bigger to just help. And I have that experience at the local level to help see where we need to. So
I love that dot connecting. I think about this a lot for where I live in Seattle. Every time we have local elections for mayor or city council, people like we have a really big homeless problem here. And people will yell about the incumbents. And I'm like, this is not a problem that can be solved just locally because it is a national problem. Like I have heard that other cities bus their homeless here. I don't know if that's true, but I know that we're far more human with our homeless population here, unhoused. We let them sleep in parks. They're building housing, but they can't keep up. So I love that you're looking at the problems around you and saying, I've done everything I can here, and it's a financial problem and a prioritization problem that can only be solved up there. So I'm going to go address it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your biggest problems where you are in Middle America? You mentioned homelessness. And you mentioned, what was it that was in the water? It went by too.
PFAS. So they're forever chemicals.
Forever chemicals.
That, and they're in everything. You're probably wearing them right now. They're
drinking them in my tea.
Probably. I mean, and then they get stuck in our bodies and they cause, health issues, but they're in our water. So it's in our water a lot. And it's a problem in Wisconsin and I'm sure throughout the whole country. And it usually comes from, either comes from firefighter foam, actually. So a lot of times when your wells are by airports, so that's where all of our wells in Eau Claire are by our airport. We have a small regional airport. And so the federal government mandates a certain type of firefighter foam is used, and it has PFAS in it because it's very effective at putting out fires because it puts, it completely but it's seeped into our water supply and now it's basically poisoned our water. And so we have to, our taxpayers are paying to get it out, even though we didn't put it in. So, but that's been a problem throughout. But 3M, we're in a lawsuit with 3M too, so it's big corporations as well. So we do need to hold polluters accountable through all this. Not give them right now. I feel like government's just turning a blind eye. So PFAS definitely, nitrates in our water quality. We sit on an abundance of water here in Eau Claire. We're very lucky in that way. And actually we have a lot of climate refugees that come to Eau Claire. But we have nitrates coming from different, it's usually a lot of agriculture use coming from runoff from the fields, getting our water, PFAS, from our water. So I think that's huge. Healthcare is really an issue. Again, we lost another hospital, and then one up north too. And so those issues certainly, homelessness, I think that's a nationwide issue, but
these are all nationwide issues. And
educational funding too.
Education. My daughter's high school had this is a tangent, but it comes back. They had a choir annual performance. Last year, they have a really big choir department at her high school. And they invite all the regional elementary and middle schools in that have choir programs in to sing a song or two. It's really cute. But their former elementary school showed up, and back when they were there, it was a huge program, and they had a dedicated teacher for music, and theirs filled the whole the risers. And this year it was literally maybe 20% of the size, and I was and they lost the teacher. And I was like a lot of the schools had smaller choirs. And I was the arts, the first thing that gets cut, right? It was still wonderful, but it made me really sad to see how much smaller it had gotten. Lefty in the chat said, didn't Trump just roll back on the PFAS regulations? And I wanted to just say yes. I just Googled it here, and yes. He has moved to roll back or delay stringent Biden-era EPA regulations in drinking water. To me, this makes my brain think of scale. And you probably have a sense for this for the work that you've been doing. When every major city is facing the same sort of challenge, and you learn something, like you said that Eau Claire is building a facility to strain these forever chemicals out of water. Do you have a way to scale that, or have a sense of what other cities are already doing it or need to do it? Like, how does information get shared between cities? If you have a really strong solution in Eau Claire, how does a Fort Wayne or Seattle or a Dallas, Texas, or anywhere else find out about what you did that worked?
I think so. Like I said, I'm the past president of the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. So that's a statewide organization that municipalities belong to. So, like, we have conferences, and I've testified in Madison, I've been in DC. And so just that's one way in Wisconsin. But then there's the NLC, National League of Cities. So every state pretty much has either a chapter. And so it's talking with those folks. So I've been active in that too. So I have talked to mayors in California and council members in Florida and South Dakota. And so like those spaces is helpful just for ideas sharing, and then conferences. And then even another thing that we did, with homelessness is a housing problem. Like we need to keep, like you're saying, building, and then that goes to zoning, and that's local level. And so it's, that's a whole other discussion. But so I was at a planning conference in Denver last year talking about the work we've done in Eau Claire. Took about a year and a half to redo our zoning laws, but we used a lot of community engagement because it's a big deal. Like it's a lot of, warehouses can be built and people get a little nervous, but if you include the public and make it very transparent, it goes way better. And so we were, in Denver talking about what we've done in Eau Claire, how it's been working, and it's good. So, but I think that like going to where people are, like that's the common theme and talking about
what
it.
A concept.
I just Googled photos of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and I'm like, this is such a cute town.
You guys have to come for the primary. Come campaign with me. Like,
that sounds fun. I'm down.
I was just gonna say that. I'll get the crowd all riled up. I'll start yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
Come. Oh my gosh, you have this adorable river and the bridges going over it like Portland does. Oh my gosh, it looks so.
Yeah. We're amazing. Yeah. We're the number one city in this, was it the state, and like 30, by the news, was it News and Report, News World Group? Yeah, Eau Claire is amazing. And I think, probably then, but part of it too, and part of my leadership is I'm very clear that all are welcome in Eau Claire. And I think, and when we lead with that, and I lead with that, I think that's really important too, that we welcome everyone. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter, because we were welcoming refugees a couple of years ago, and the right in MAGA got really upset and angry. And so I think that's also a part of our story too, is that we welcome everyone.
Yes.
Nice. Well, Emily, we're so grateful that you were here with us today. And thank you for taking the time. We want to be respectful of your time. We have one very important question that we always ask at the end of the show every time a guest is on for the very first time. And so as some setup here, Dana and I are Gen X, and so we're very, we view everything from that lens, hence our big question. Dana, do the honors.
All right. Emily, what do you see as the most Gen X song of all time?
Oh gosh.
We get that response a lot. Oh gosh. It's like a total brain shift gear, but it ends the live on a positive note. And you all in the chat.
So what decade? I'm sorry.
Gen Xers were born between 65 and 80.
Okay.
So some people interpret that as 80s music. Some people interpret that more as early 90s music, but if you're watching a film and it's set in that era, what song is playing in the background? And there are no wrong answers, so don't.
Well, if you want a second, let me just make a statement while you think about this. And I just want to say, let's do this Substack trend. I saw Ellie Leonard was in the chat, the great Ellie Leonard, and I want Ellie to talk to Emily at some point.
Hi, Ellie.
And just everybody, we have a voice. Americans still have a voice. Substack is our voice. We have to talk to our candidates. We have to demand a new type of leadership. We have the power to do it. We just have to shake off that lethargy. We always have a right to ask questions. We always have the right to change things. We're adults. We can open Christmas presents the day before if we want to. We can do whatever we want. So let's start doing that. Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of progressive candidates. You're going to find they're wonderful. So more like Emily. What were you going to say, Dana?
Oh, I just said dessert first.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
cake for dinner. Um,
So
and Walter, you're so right. Before we jump back to the song, I do just want to plus one what Walter said. Walter, you are always welcome here. Please keep sending us
love it.
candidates.
I'm going to overwhelm you guys. Ginger
Yeah.
Murray, I'm bringing her next. I talked to her yesterday
Great.
from the other Wisconsin district. She's fantastic too.
Amazing. Amazing.
So I gave Emily. Do you have? Did you think of a song, Emily? She's too young for Jen.
Yeah, there's so many. But I mean, Freebird, that's classic.
Oh,
my
that's
gosh.
perfect. I have a whole story about Freebird. That's hilarious. Yeah, I love it.
In terms of it being like memeable before it was a meme, you know, going to live shows and having people from the audience yelling Freebird.
Yeah.
For
I do
sure.
amazing air guitar at the end too. I have to say. Yeah.
I made
Oh
my
my
kids
gosh.
watch. What was the name of the movie? There's this movie with Orlando Bloom because we just brought up Freebird and my kids didn't know what it was. And so I'm like, let's watch this. And we watched this. And in the movie at the end, Freebird comes on. My daughter just looks at me and is like, you set this up. You knew this movie. I'm like, once you know about Freebird, it appears everywhere.
I don't know what movie that is.
Elizabethtown is. It's the one with the first one with the manic pixie dream girl. Kristen Dunst plays.
Right.
So yeah, it just comes in there. My daughter's on to me now. She knows when I set her up for things like this. Oh wow.
Oh, that's so funny. I don't think my kids know that song either, nor the mythology behind it. And clearly I need to teach them before they leave my home. So
Yeah.
I've only got a few months left with my eldest, so I better go upstairs and be like, we need to have a talk about Freebird.
If you go into a gas station in the state of Wisconsin to this day, they will have a cassette tape available of Freebird for you to buy if you want.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And cheese curds. You also will get cheese
Oh,
curds.
cheese
I
curds.
Yeah,
love-
they'll be there.
Please.
Oh.
I'm
can
not
buy
supposed to have
beer,
dairy, and I love cheese and cheese curds. I think I'd be in big trouble in Wisconsin. I would just be like,
You
give
fit
me
right
all-
in.
give
Yeah.
me, I could write in. Give it
I'm,
right
uh,
in.
I'm
Give me all
doing
your
the keto diet, and so like cheese is basically how I'm surviving.
Ooh, you're in the wrong state. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm hearing
my-
you both need to come here. That's what I'm hearing.
I absolutely will come there and campaign before the primary for sure.
I love this because we were invited to Montana, to Missoula with the Grounded podcast. So I could just leave Seattle and just start driving east.
Right. The problem is, Dana, that I'm driving the other direction, so one of us is going to have to
Oh.
backtrack.
That's right. Either that or we like, yeah, we need to stop in the middle so we could visit first, meet each other, and then, you know,
Right.
anyhow, summer road trip. I love it. I love it. Thank you both for being here. Thanks to everyone in this very lively chat. Someone said earlier how it felt great after such a kind of emotionally trying day politically yesterday.
Yeah.
It was really nice to reconnect with this community, and I fully agree. It was like a great reset. So let's go get him and all the other ones who are complicit in supporting him.
Yes.
Emily, my very small but with great intent donation is on its way to you.
Thank you.
Please,
Thank
if you have any ability, even if it's just $5 or $10, send Emily some support. And best of luck to you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Walter, for making the connection. That's
Yep, we'll
amazing.
keep doing it.
Walter.
I'll bring you back. I kidnap people and talk to them all day. So anytime.
I love it.
All right.
Bye, all.
Thanks,
Bye, guys.
everybody.
I love you, mean
everyone.
Love you, mean
it.
it. Bye.
Bye.